Hello everyone and welcome back to another Anything Joe's Unboxing. My name is Greg Engel and I'll be your unboxer today. Today we're taking a look at Kyle BUDO Jesso, a figure that has got quite a large reception in the classified community recently. Somebody was saying figure of the year for BUDO? This is going to have to be one heck of a figure. So let's tear him open right now and really see if this guy lives up to the hype. Kyle BUDO Jesso is number 174 in the classified series, and here you can see his pretty spectacular art. He looks mad, and he's holding a gun, which I wouldn't expect of. I mean, I guess he's got a sword too, so I guess he gets a pass on that. On the back, we can see that he's like gone full Japanese. He's in his complete suit of armor. He's got his scary little Ronin mask. They've got a beautiful diorama of like feudal Japan going on here. Look at that Japanese branded G.I. Joe armband. That's so cool. And then he's got an infinity stone right there. That'll be helpful. And then, of course, if he doesn't have his full and last name, nobody will know who he is, right? Those are the stats on the back. We're going to tear open the front. There ain't nothing else to look at unless you like QR codes. Included with the classified BUDO are the following. One large katana. One not as large katana. I don't know what they call the smaller swords. The world's smallest katana, as seen in the Guinness Book of World Records. This one's a little bendy. One scabbard for his swords. Probably just one particular one. One pistol. One machine gun with tripod. One alternate head. One entire armor change, which includes a masked helmet, a more traditional unmasked face, some more Big Trouble in Little China gear, one scarf or kerchief, one alternate set of shin guards and bracers, one something goes around the neck maybe, TBD. Full torso armor. As well as lower portion also. BUDO himself right out of the box has got standard ball joint swivel. Excellent mobility. Holy smokes, this guy loves birds. We've got some butterfly joints that are hidden behind the vest piece here. We've got a bicep swivel that's also kind of underneath the arm. We've got our double pinless. This is definitely going to get in the way of that. I guess you could maybe fold it. If you really wanted it around, you could do it like this. But yeah, expect issues with that. If you have his sword on his back, that's not really going to work out so well for you. Drop down hips, again, kind of tucked down under here. We've got, very good mobility. You would expect no less that this man could do the splits. There's our thigh cut. We've got a boot cut. Back and forth, wiggle, wiggle, up and down. He does have extremely good mobility except for that shoulder. His shin pads are kind of misaligned, which is bothersome. All right, let's look at BUDO, the man. This is obviously the more like modernized take on BUDO's head. You can see he's got like the top knot with the shaved head that goes all the way around. It does look very, very cool. We haven't seen a ton of BUDO, although I don't envision him looking like this exactly. This is still a pretty great head. You can even see he's got a little like birthmark or beauty mark right there by his eye. Really good detail. We already talked about the name on the vest, which is I just don't think is really necessary. Nobody really calls BUDO by his first or last name ever. I'm not sure what this 4-star logo is supposed to mean. I'm sure some logo expert there can tell me why he's wearing this. He's got all kinds of stuff. Looks like some kind of walkie-talkie communicator. Lots of pouches with little details. We've got some gear that connects around here. There's a little Another little like wire or radio piece that goes around. It all connects to the back. Just a bunch of ridges and some more pockets there. We saw this on the box art as well, but this is actually what the G.I. Joe logo looked like in Japan when they released there. That's an awesome little detail, and I like that a lot more than anything else that I've seen. I think that little nod is excellent. All this stuff comes off obviously because the armor is going to be interchangeable. You could strip them straight down to just like this flat gray and have a pretty great troop builder, or make, you know, good custom material as well. This lower piece has got a scabbard attached to it as well. I guess if the included one is for the alternate look. He's got double belts going on here. Another pouch goes around. Not a lot going on the back side. We already talked about these shoulder pads on the arm, and there's like not a lot going on here. These bracers, I assume, are either removable or you're going to cover them up with the others. He's got a little weird little red gem there. Some fingerless green gloves. Same on this side. Let's move on down. Green pants with these little gray knee pads. We've got that holster for the pistols right there. Of course, we've got our booty pockets. Where would we put our bubble gum without them? Gray goes all the way around on the back. There's just some solid coloring. It does kind of look odd there. I talked about these being misaligned. I guess it's just how you situate them, but I can see that looking kind of weird. Black shin guards and then just regular brown boots at the very bottom. Let's take a look at Samurai Budo. This Budo's gear is removable. You can see that there's a peg right here. Woo, see how easy that was? Very similar to how like Marauder's Task Force or some other figures in this scale kind of disassemble. Would be nice to see more modular pieces like this in the future. The lower half is the same. There's a connecting piece right here, and it easily comes off. That'll give us our first look at what just the bare bones of this looks like. Just a gray shirt and some green pants. You really could do quite a lot with just this basic mold if you have a mind to. This armor is crazy, and I do mean crazy tight. I still don't really have it fastened as well as I'd like to, but since we're not going to leave it on, I'm not going to bother. It looks like maybe the skirt part is supposed to maybe tuck into it to hold it together. It does fasten well, and for the most part, it seems like it would fit well with a little more work. It doesn't win me over based on that for certain, but I knew it would be difficult. All removable gear is kind of a pain, if you ask me. Here he is with his helmet on. He's just as insane as you would expect him to be. I mean, the armor is actually quite faithful to what you would expect Budo to wear. I just want Budo to be slightly more modernized. We're talking about the only one of two ninjas besides Quick Kick that's not been invited to join Ninja Force. What does that tell you about him? So this armor also has the same shoulder pads right here. They're maybe even worse in terms of blocking. Alright, I consulted the image and this has given me a better idea. They do want you to have this tucked into the belt, but it is so tight, it would require quite a bit of work. And so I guess you better be sure you're going to keep them like that. I took the hands off, and so I could put these on over top of the existing ones, and these also just kind of fasten on over top. The thing about having a lot of gear like this makes me think of a spy troop, is that, again, if you don't work extensively to get it just right, it's just a little too loose. They've done a good job making it fit overall, but I don't know. There's something about just having it molded on that makes it easier to me. Still, I'm not denying that this is an entertainable option. You can mix and match these parts however you want to make them, I really like these bracers. I might keep them on my regular Budo. They had also included this on him in the picture, and I'm not going to do that, but just because he's got so much on him already. But this gives you an idea what he looks like. And, of course, this is just a removable mask, so I've got his regular head on underneath. Long-haired John Wick Budo isn't doing it for me either. Props to keeping that little beauty mark in the same spot, though. Even with the hair, you can see it. It's a perfectly good head, and I'm not even denying that it doesn't match his personality. He's like a heavy metal listening Harley Davidson driver, according to his file card. So this kind of looks like what I can imagine him being like this in his free time. But the regular Budo is the one for me. Alright, so I actually took it in a different direction altogether. I went with the original lower half, but I paired it up with the samurai upper torso because I feel like this actually kind of looks the most like original Budo with that modern flair, which is what I kind of like to toe the line on. I switched his bracers back to normal, Probably going to lose these as well. I don't know. I have to experiment around with those because they do look good, but I feel weird about it being an extra part. He's got Helix's gun here on the side. He's got his middle length sword here in his scabbard. And then I gave him the largest katana because it just made the most sense. The helmet is a perfect fit, right down to the chin strap. They've given him a little headset, which I probably could have done without, or at least been able to fold it up, but I get where they're coming from with it. All in all, it is a very sharp looking figure. It is, now, like this, I think this looks a lot like BUDO. Maybe I'm wrong, and I like that you can take it in either direction. People that want him to look exactly like a samurai have that option. People that want to walk away from that and make it more military themed have that. And of course, people like me that like to toe the line have this, or the other option perhaps if you'd prefer. Let's take a look at BUDO's previous incarnations and see how it holds up. Here we have original vintage BUDO. We'll take a look at him up close. My BUDO is actually maybe complete, which is pretty uncommon for me, but it speaks to how much I didn't really use him as a kid. He doesn't really look like a samurai here either, except for the helmet and the sword, if we're being honest. It just looks like big brown padding, gray arms, and green pants. Which, I mean, this is a good figure overall, I've got to be honest. He just has just an unusual character, and amongst even more unusual characters. From a color scheme, things have changed quite a bit, right? Obviously, we have this brown that is the same as his middle piece here. They've darkened this gray a lot, and they've added it to match here, and I'm fine with that. The pants have also changed the shade of green, and I'm okay with that as well. If anything, this looks more like you would expect than this. Kind of dialing down this, like, not neon, but you could tell we were getting there. Dialing that down is the right choice. The helmet is a good decision. Like, I have no issues with anything other than the headset part. I'm just kind of being nitpicky about that, but they do look the same. This has got more red on it, and this has got almost like a Viking vibe to it, but still, we get it. The logistics are there. I like that the gray knee pads and the boots are there. They've added these shin guards. That's fine, whatever. And I guess that maybe also explains where that 4 logo symbol comes from. Is this right here? Again, maybe this is some samurai piece that I'm not recognizing, but well, at least we know where it comes from. Can only think of 2 modern BUDOs, and this is the one that came out around the same time as the second movie. Buddy, they went all in on that, don't they? It looks like a manifestation from a Hannibal vision. Here he is without his mask, and they went all in. Look how big his outfit looks. He looks like he's wearing a sumo inflatable suit. I'm going to squish you. So yeah, no need to look at that anymore. So there we have it, BUDO. Do I think BUDO is figure of the year? I don't really. I think he does look very good. He's going to be a great addition. I've got no real beef with him. I think he's $34.99, so that kind of puts him what we would call the mini deluxe. And I think the stuff that you get with him for a mini deluxe is definitely there. It's definitely worth it. No alternate hands, which would have been nice to have some kind of like some karate stuff, but I think what we got instead makes it much more valuable. If anything, this figure has a lot of universal use because you can gear him up in so many different ways. He doesn't really have to be a BUDO at all. It could be any samurai ninja type character that you're looking for. So yeah, I definitely give it high scores. I think he looks really, really good. I do wonder if we'll inevitably get a retro repaint that's a little bit more like this color, and if so, how many times can I buy the same figures twice? All the times, apparently, is the answer. So anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this BUDO figure. Have you picked him up? Are you waiting on him? What's your overall response? Is he your figure of the year? And if so, why? That sounded very targeted. I'm just genuinely curious. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to talking to you on our next unboxing video, where anything's available for discussion here on Anything Joe's.